Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome into another edition of The Right Side of Campus. It is 1 o'clock on October 31st, 2019. It's Halloween 2019. The ghouls and goblins are out, Donnie Rightside, here on a fall day. Doesn't really feel much like fall, though. I'll tell you right now, this weather, odd, but it's Halloween, Donnie. We got a big football card coming up. We got college basketball starting next week. The World Series is over. Time to focus on football.
Yes. It's not quite a football Friday yet, but we'll take it one day at a time. It is Halloween. It's a big day here, Jeff, in the right side household where the kids love it. The dog's going to be dressed up, and we'll see what happens today. But the best part about that is, Jeff, there's a lot of candy left over, and I'll be enjoying that myself.
Yeah, good for you. That's good stuff. I don't eat candy much, but once in a while you have a little bit. What do you like, Donnie? What's your candy?
I don't know. You can't go wrong with like Snickers bar, Reese's cups. You can't go wrong with that type of stuff.
I'll tell you, I can't say I've ever had a Snicker bar or anything like that.
Jesus, what are you, an alien?
No, I just never was into candy much. I don't know why. I do like Reese's though. Occasionally, you pick them up, you throw them in the fridge. Good shit.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, Donnie. When I go to the movie theater, you get those Reese's cups, and then you get the big sodas. You got fucking sugar for days.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of putting the candy in the freezer too, like the Snickers and the Reese's cups. I love them in the freezer. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big time. Yeah, Donnie, I might be a bigger guy, but I've never been into like candy, ice cream. I don't need any of that stuff. It's weird.
What's going on?
Yeah, thank God. But I guess cheesesteaks are my issue. All right, let's get into it, Donnie. Thanks everybody for watching. By the way, what's your kid being for Halloween?
Like a 50s girl, like one of the. You ever watch like one of like the big poofy dog dresses? Sure. Yeah, and the dog has a matching costume with it. So like
a Grease.
Correct. There you go. Nope.
Now, Donnie, this is actually a connecting story. One of the Jersey Shore characters, her husband was under fire recently for a Halloween costume he gave his kids. It was a similar costume, actually, that your daughter's being.
Yeah. What happened?
He gave them like fake cigarettes, and people were like all pissed off about it.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. Lame.
Like what happens if you had like a little son, like he's 4, and you got him dressed up like the Fonz, you had the tight white shirt, and you rolled up like a pack of cigarettes. Like people would have a problem with that. Come on, man.
What a world.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the show. Thank you all for watching. We'll get into some morning headlines. We got 2 college football games tonight we'll get to. 2 interesting games, too. An NFL game, 49ers and Cardinals. We'll break that down. And, Donnie, a wild night last night in the NBA. A lot of storylines last night in the association. But we started off this morning with some morning headlines. Let's get into them. First things first, Donnie, Baker Mayfield is back in the news. And for once, I actually agree with Mayfield. Look, sometimes you just got to fucking call these. I do it, Donnie. I do it all the time on Periscope. People asking me the dumbest fucking questions on earth. Questions that just don't make any fucking sense. It's like, have some fucking common sense here. Listen, if I'm Baker Mayfield, I get sick and tired of this shit after a while. It's like, yeah, were you happy with the way you played? On that no, we didn't score. I get it. Baker Mayfield's this kind of guy, and he's got that reputation now. Everything he does is now under the mic show. But I don't have a big problem with what he.
No, I don't. But it's his job, though. You have to understand that. Like he's not doing it because he wants to just like go to battle on Twitter. They ask questions. It's part of the protocol in the NFL. You just got to answer them as monotonous as the questions are. Answer, say nothing, and just bounce out of there. So I like the fire, though. I mean, me and you are cut from the same cloth. Where if you put it this way, if you ask a dumb question, you're going to get a dumb answer. That's the way it goes.
Look, he answers the questions, unlike Zach Greinke, who just sits there and acts like a fucking weirdo. It's like answer the questions. I mean, he answers the questions generally, but. We've seen this, Donnie, with guys like DeMarcus Cousins. Russell Westbrook's done it before where he gets certain reporters. And I'll tell you, some of these reporters are coy motherfuckers, man. They can be real. I know even in like the Eagles locker room, there's some fucking shithead reporters. Reporters that, guys try to create stories, Donnie. That's what they do.
Sure. Yeah.
They manufacture bullshit, and I wouldn't, after a while take shit from some of these guys as well. But, Donnie, the vultures were hanging. Colin Cowherd was all over this story. And, we know he hates Baker Mayfield. But Mayfield should worry a little bit more, Donnie, about the media than his play on the field. He's not been good enough.
No, revert. Yeah, he should worry about his play on the field as opposed to the media. I hear what you're saying on that. Same. That team goes together, though. Isn't it great? Like, if you're talking about Cleveland, where you just have a perfect melting pot of nonsense, you have a moron head coach, a quarterback that thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but he turns it over. This team's supposed to win. They're in the dumps. You got a wide receiver that is real fashionable, doesn't give a damn about what else happens on the field. That is a perfect melting pot just to explode.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
Mm-hmm.
Donnie, one other football story, and then we'll get into some baseball stuff here. Fletcher Cox, we talked about him of last week, I think it was. His 911 call was released. According to the 911 call, which I listened to, he threatens to blow the intruder's brains out.
Twice.
Right, with a shotgun. Now, Donnie, I find this not fascinating, but I do find it interesting. So, knock on wood, I've never been involved with any intruders. Here's the thing. Is this guy an intruder? He's not like trying to rob him. I think he's just trying to.
No, he's trying to. Yeah, but he's trying to gain entry into the house. Which again,
but it'd have been a precarious situation.
It would have been if he blew his head off. Fletcher probably wouldn't even be charged with anything. You know, it was crazy.
But again, Donnie, we've talked about this before. Yeah. Can you really keep Fletcher Cox on your football team if he does that? Has he ever played football again? It's a shitty situation for him to be in. But then, Donnie, I started looking in, and I've talked about this. This is not the first time Fletcher's done this. Maybe, Donnie, he needs to start going to like singles nights and like this. Donnie, he was sued in North Carolina for the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe does he have some deviant like sexual proclivity to like married women?
Yeah, like he maybe the fun for him is. I see that wedding ring now. It's a challenge.
Yeah. Like a secret.
Yeah, correct.
Donnie, come on. You know better than me. This dude was definitely with this broad. She's probably telling him one thing and fucking this big football player on the side. I got to tell you, I side with the dude. I really do. Because I've seen this before with him. Maybe he needs to start, Donnie, looking to singles nights. That would be my advice to him.
That's not what he gets. That's not what he likes, though, Jeff. He's, professional athletes like they say, look, I'm in the singles night. Everybody's throwing themselves at me. But you know who's not? The married people. They're the ones that I want to get after.
Yeah, well, let's just say I know all about this guy in his personal life. But yeah, I have concerns here about Fletcher Cox. I really do. I wonder what is his story? Why does he continue to get involved with this crap? If I'm a security guy with the Eagles, I got to sit down and talk to this guy and be like, look, you got to start finding chicks with no husbands. Like, we need to do some background. You give me the name. I'll look them up. Like, we got to get on the same page here because this was like literally 30 seconds, Donnie, away from being real bad.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, I hear. Yeah, maybe get him like a new Facebook dating app site. Maybe the Eagles invest in him. Like, hey, Fletch, look, man, here's your code. Get in there. Have a blast with these girls that are single.
Or like find like a reporter that's like a public, like, we know she's single. Like, yeah,
like Diana Rossini. Come on. Like, remember the whole big fiasco down in Washington with Diana Rossini and Scott McClellan? That was an awesome thing to go over.
Yeah, he's got to do something because he was, if you listen to the report, the call, Donnie, he was 30 seconds away from killing this dude.
Basically what he said is like, this dude, you hear the stuff breaking. Like, if he tries to come in the front door, he's getting ended.
And look, I don't not side with him on that situation. Yeah. I mean, look, if someone's breaking in my house, I ain't waiting for no fucking cop to get there. Yeah. I'm protecting myself, but
glad that didn't escalate any more than it did.
Sure. All right, let's move on here. World Series, Donnie.
Yeah.
Down in Houston. Definitely didn't mind seeing the Nationals get the job done. I know as a Philly fan, you weren't exactly happy, but I think we all knew, Donnie, as a plus money team. Listen, I don't know what on earth AJ Hinch is doing, not bringing in Garrett Cole. I mean, what the fuck was that all about? What an awful managerial decision to not bring Garrett Cole in. Greinke had been terrific. I noticed, Donnie, the Nationals didn't have any problem bringing in Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, but they bring out Patrick Corbin because they have nobody in that bullpen. Like, you actually have Daniel really good. You got some really good guys. Yeah, but he's not going to come in that spot. He's going to close it out. But you got some hammers, even in long relief for the Astros. I don't really mind that decision so much. Garrett Cole probably would have made his way into the game, but they probably figured this guy's used to coming in, putting out a fire.
Donnie, you do not go to Will Harris in that situation. Come on. You've got to go to Garrett Cole. It's game 7. Garrett Cole's been unhittable, Donnie. And I get he's only come out of relief, I think, one time in his entire baseball career. But you've got to throw, wind to the fire. I mean, this was now or never. But that Nationals, that's what they did, Donnie, all year. They were a team that, came back in games. They were a special team. Donnie, I had to laugh as well. They interviewed Mattress Mac.
Oh, yes. What do you have to say?
He hedged, of course.
No, he didn't. He said he hedged?
Or maybe I didn't read the article.
No, he didn't hedge. There's no way, because then that would have been ridiculous.
I don't know. Read the article. It's out there. But, yeah, listen, a really nice World Series. It was nice to not see the Astros win. They became very hateable, Donnie, to me over the course of the series with, the Taubman stuff and Osuna. It was real nice to see Osuna get fucking plastered last night in that 8th inning. That was fun to watch.
So I actually went to sleep at 2-0. Woke up, it was 3-2. Went back to sleep again. Woke up again, and it was 6-2. I'm like, what the hell's going? Like, I'm completely conking out and missing the good stuff. But I'll tell you what was interesting last night, which I always go back because I watch games differently than the average fanboy does. Like, I like to see the errors and where somebody could have, scored, like the Josh Reddick play the night before where the ball was doubled down the line and he's taking his jolly old time, rounded second, doesn't score when he should have scored easily. Like last night to make it 2-0. Carlos Correa running down the first baseline, not looking at anything but the fans in the stands and his dugout and being pumped up when he should have been on second base. Now, the next guy did make an out. What happens if he singles and he doesn't score because he's not on second base? I love that. But I love the arguments from the people out there on Twitter like, come on, man. Stop playing MLB, the show or whatever it is. Get back into the real life. They didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve that series. The Nationals were the better team.
Donnie has a great eye for finding stuff that means nothing to the game.
No, it means everything to the game because those guys, they're professional ball players. And because the things that I like about professional sports, and you're right, is coaches that get $5 million and absolutely freeze on the easiest moments. Like Major League Baseball players that have done something 1,000 times and all of a sudden just go brain dead in the one moment where they should be hustling, they don't. It's amazing. It's human error, though. It's human elements.
Donnie, one thing about this Mattress guy that I find interesting, so if you live in Houston, you know about this guy, obviously.
Correct. Yes.
But if I want to buy a mattress, why the fuck would I go to a guy? I don't understand how this helps his business, really.
It's just intent. Well, it does. Let's just say.
But if I'm in Houston, for instance, I live in if I live in a certain area, I know about for instance, PC Richard and Son, Donnie. That's a big business in the Philly area. I know about that. Wawa or whatever. Jack Giambalvo Hyundai, whatever. Yep. I know they're all central to Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. If I'm in Iowa, what do I give a fuck about this guy? What? I don't understand what. If you're in Houston, you probably know about this guy already.
No, but the advertisement is Houston to drive the business. It's like saying, and I guess Bob's Discount Furniture or whoever it would be, they hate this because this guy's literally saying the Astros are the favorite to win the World Series. Come in and buy your furniture from me. If the Astros win the World Series, your furniture is free. So if you're sitting at home and you're like, hey, man, you know what, babe? I want to get a new bed and a couch. Why don't we go buy it from Mattress Mac down there? Because if they do, we can cheer on the Astros and spend $3,000 and not pay a dime if they win. Everybody's going to go there.
No, I get that. But if you live in Houston, I feel like you should already know about this and you should already go there anyway. But whatever.
But the whole thing is imagine let's just say in 2017, right? The Eagles are midway through the season and what can I even equate this to? I guess PC Richard and Son. Come in, whatever you spend in the month of October, it can be $1 on a CD or you can buy $20,000 worth of items. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, it's free. You would be like, you know what? Let me get this Xbox. Let me get this TV. Let me get this washer and dryer. And I really needed it. I'm going to spend 6 G's in your store. And you know what? If they win, I get it free. That means I'm not going to Best Buy to buy my stuff. See what I mean? That's why it works for him.
No, I get it. Yeah. But he made it out to be like he was going to try to promote this nationally. It's I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's worth a ton of money. Because I never really knew the guy's background. So I actually figured Mattress Mac. He's probably got 400 locations across the Midwest where it's all over the place. Yeah, but it's not. That's kind of why is he worth so much money? How's he worth so much money with only a couple furniture stores?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at here. I don't understand what the national.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Like it didn't make any sense to me. But all right, let's move on, Donnie. One other story, kind of a disturbing story, and I want to go on a little rant about.
I read it.
Like
Yep.
this.
And I have a daughter, and it relates. Trust me.
Sure. Josh Hamilton, former Texas Rangers outfielder, was arrested Wednesday on a felony charge of being accused of hitting one of his daughters. Keller, who's now it's not Keller, Hamilton of Keller, Texas, who's now 38, was charged with one single count of injury to a child. Donnie, authorities said that the girl told them he became upset about something she said and threw a full water bottle at her, hitting her in the chest while cursing and yelling. He then pulled a chair off from under her feet, tossed it at her before yanking her to the ground. He then picked up the girl, threw her over his shoulder, carried her to a bedroom. As she yelled he was sorry, she said he threw her onto a bed, used one hand to pin her down, and started hitting her legs with his other hand. He then later picked up her by her sweatshirt, causing it to rip, and hitting her on the back. He also was claimed as saying, "I hope you go in front of the fucking judge and tell them what a terrible dad I am, so I don't have to see you anymore." Family records also state that Hamilton's ex-wife sought a protective order early this month on behalf of the child. Listen, I'm sick of fucking people like Josh Hamilton. Throw them in fucking jail. They're dangerous to society on the street right now. I'm sick of hearing about Josh Hamilton has drug and alcohol problems. Obviously, you can't control yourself, Josh. So go get fucking help. Go to prison. Someone stop letting this guy out on bail. Send him to fucking prison and let him fucking sit in there and think about this shit. I'm sick of these fucking psychopaths on the street. I don't give a fuck that he's a baseball player. Stop sweeping shit under the rug. Put this danger to society, Donnie, in prison, because obviously he can't handle his own life.
No, he's been a demonized, and it's such an odd. It's one of the most odd stories. Like the fresh, clean cut, all American, best baseball player, top draft pick. Gets hurt, gets hooked on painkillers, meets a couple people. Next thing you know, he's getting tattoos and he's shooting up heroin within like 6 months. It's an amazing story. And then he comes back to double down and he can't have any money in his pocket. He's got to have a sponsor with him 24/7 while he's in major leagues. He's making big money. He's making a rebound. What a great story. Culminated where, Jeff? Home run derby in the Yankee Stadium, where he was just like a mythical figure that night. It was amazing. But then when the spotlight goes off, Jeff, don't you always go back? Like nobody's hanging with him, making sure he doesn't have money, and he's obviously relapsing. But the worst part about it is from the whole kid situation, because kids can be a pain in the ass. If you have a kid, you understand it. But there's relative parts to being a pain in the ass and what you can and can get away with, and there's discipline. You know what the worst part about that entire story was, Jeff? Not even like how crazy, like the beating or the throwing the water bottle or the cursing or the hitting in the legs. It was his last comment. Like, I can't imagine saying that thing, something so cold to your daughter. Like, you know what I mean? Tell the judge how bad I am so I don't even have to see you anymore. How horrible is that statement? How old was the girl anyway? Does it say?
It does not say. She's under 14.
That's unbelievable. Like, how could you tell your own kid that? Like, you know, I don't even want to see you again. That's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, look, I don't have kids. You know, I've honestly, Donnie, you know, you see people that you know, that commit horrible crimes and their family, you know, kind of disowns them and stuff like that. You know, you obviously understand things like that, but yeah, I don't. Kids are awesome. I hope someday to have a kid. You know, I think they're dope and awesome, and I would love to have a kid someday. Yeah. I don't understand that. It's callous. It's obviously sad. You know, and this isn't the first time, Donnie. You look at this complete fucking malarkey from Josh Hamilton. This is the worst. In 2009, he said that a lapse in his Christian faith led him to drink excessively at a fucking Arizona bar. Then 3 years later, he had another relapse.
Body shots off all the girls there and stuff.
Yeah, we know, Josh. You're a born again Christian. Yeah, right. Listen, I hope the Texas judge reads some of the comments here. It's clear Josh Hamilton has some major mental issues. He's an addict, and he needs to go to jail. We need, again, I understand they're addicts and they need help and they shouldn't go to jail, but this is a situation where Josh Hamilton, this is not the first time Josh Hamilton has had issues. Send him to jail.
It won't be the last. You know the crazy thing, Jeff, is he's 38. It seems like he's been around for 100 years in our lives. He's 38. That's unbelievable. Like, it's crazy. Like, what's he going to do with the rest of his life? He's probably got, you know, God said if he ODs or goes to jail. But I'm saying, like, he has another like 40 years to go.
You know what? I'm not going to say what I was going to say about him ODing. Let me just leave that at that. Here's what you know what? I will say it because I don't give a fuck. Let's hope, Donnie, we're all spared going forward from Josh Hamilton because this guy's a fucking parasite. I don't think he should.
Yeah,
be
because
allowed,
it's not actually about doing things to himself. You're worried about him doing things to somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like it's if you go out and you get high and you drive your car home, we're not worried about you. We're worried about the person that's just trying to get home from work to his family that you smash into. You know what I mean?
Hopefully Josh Hamilton flatlines and we don't have to deal with him anymore. That way we don't have to. Why? What's wrong with that, Donnie? This guy's a fucking scumbag piece of shit. Fuck Josh Hamilton. Am I wrong, Donnie?
It's against human nature to wish something like that, but hey, it is.
Why? He's trying to hurt other people.
I know.
Just like you said, he's a fucking drunk. He'll drive into some family and kill them.
You're right. You hope they don't.
Fuck this guy. Piece of shit. Sorry, the truth hurts. All right, let's move on here. No, I'm not going to settle down. What should I settle down for? Josh Hamilton beats his fucking kids and tells them he doesn't want to be their fucking dad anymore? Fuck that guy. Sorry.
Man, you should be a dark comedian.
Truth hurts.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so wrong because I said that.
I'm
just saying what all of you want to say. All right, let's move on here, Donnie. Let's go down to a wild night in the association.
Yeah. Upsets, man.
I got to talk about this laughable, pathetic game. Donnie, the pathetic Houston Rockets and the Washington Wizards. I mean,
listen, not even an overtime game.
Yeah, this is expected from like the Wizards because they suck. But, I mean, Houston, what the hell is going on with this defense? This defense sucks per usual. Donnie, was the highest scoring game ever decided by 1 point. There was a 55 or more point score. There was a 45 point or more score, and there was a triple double. I guess you can understand. Take a guess, Donnie, who had the triple double.
Russell Westbrook, and I didn't even see the stat line. Let me go.
Yeah, because he's again not a team player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me that stat line's not team player 101. It's really sad, Donnie, that you just continue to just try to like belittle Russell Westbrook.
He's a bum.
He's a bum, right? Triple doubles every night, but he's not a team. They didn't lose though; they won.
Yeah, they ain't gonna win nothing for the season though.
Keep in mind, the Rockets and Nets, Donnie, now are 2 0-4 teams laying points. They're 0-4 as favorites.
Mm-hmm.
They've not been good against the number. What else do we have last night? We had a fight in Philadelphia.
Bad camera work.
Sure.
Did you watch the game live? Were you watching the game live?
I was.
So I'm watching it live, right? So I'm like, hey, and I hear like the commotion. And I need to sit down with the cameraman.
What's wrong with the cameraman, Donnie? The play was at the other end of the court.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody, it's almost like there was a robot because everybody went. I guess it was a layup by Horford that he missed, and then a putback by Tobias Harris. So then you hear like a zoom off. Oh my God! Look at the tussle down the end of the court. So instead of like swinging to the opposite side of the court, he takes the same approach as if you were watching a basketball game progress from the backcourt to the front court, where you see the guys running. So he factors the TV just on the guys running and misses the entire thing, as opposed to just going back to where everything's getting crazy. I was furious at that.
Yeah, I did kind of notice that. That's a good point. Yeah. By the way, Donnie, how was Ben Simmons not ejected? Did anyone? Do you not watch?
Yeah, they actually played him. Yeah, they did. But in the heat, it's funny because it actually looks worse after the fact when they show like the low camera.
But they review that shit. How did
but they do. But they weren't really reviewing that. It was mostly the punches and the fall to the ground because they took it as him not being an aggressor, which I think he was being an aggressor, but played it off as if I was just trying to hold this guy back. When you hold somebody back, it's a bear hug, right? It's not I'm about to choke this dude out. And the best part about it is Karl Anthony Towns does like hit the ground, so it looks like he was tapping out. It was great. It's great theater.
As far as I know, Donnie, isn't in football if you hold somebody, isn't that ejected?
No. You're not allowed to pull somebody off. I'm talking like
off the pile, right? Yeah.
You walk up to a pile and the other guy's on top. Yeah. You just take your hand and pull him by his jersey, like real soft. You get through. It's a penalty. You don't get thrown out. It's a penalty though.
Yeah. By the way, Karl Anthony Towns a fucking clown. I'm going to tell you right now.
They've always been at each other, man. These two.
Yeah. Well, listen. Joel Embiid is. I'll tell you, Donnie. If Joel Embiid wins an NBA title, he could be the most polarizing figure in the NBA after that.
I love the guy.
Because he's got a fucking mouth on him even without winning shit. What's he going to do when he wins eventually? But Donnie, last night, Karl Anthony Towns tweeted out
went back
Joel Embiid said he's ain't no bitch. He was raised around lions. Karl Anthony Towns put out a picture basically smiling and saying the clown emoji, bitch talk, hashtag.
Yeah, the one where I guess Embiid got fouled and tried to play off the foul. So it's a great still shot, which looks like Embiid is being a bitch in that. So it's funny. I love the theater. I love this stuff. This is what makes this is great. As much as the NBA we don't want this. This is exactly what you want because people like this.
Embiid then responded, that tough guy act ain't cutting it. You know what you are. You know what you've always been, a pussy. Say it louder for people in the back. Been kicking your ass and pretty please make the playoffs before you talk.
Mm-hmm.
It's a known thing that I own you, at Karl Towns. And then you had Karl Towns' mother trying to
it was
run
pretty
towards
good.
the tunnel.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that too.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was terrific stuff. Embiid is a complete, fucking class act.
Embiid is the guy that gets under your skin, but's really good. Usually you're just good at what, Jeff? Getting under somebody's skin and playing that role. It's amazing he does it both.
How do all you feel that Joel Embiid's the best setter in the league and just owns everybody?
Yes, and talks smack every night, and then plays as if he didn't talk smack.
Yeah, must suck to not love Joel Embiid. Look, Try Sawyer doesn't like Joel Embiid. He's a joke, and they will never win anything. We know Try Sawyer. Let me guess, you're a fan of the Warriors or somebody. I'm sure. Just tell us who you're really a fan of.
Nobody. By the way, is anybody a fan of I think the Warriors bandwagon is real light right now.
Oh, right. Let's get to those losers.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, last night, Sixers won. They're 4-0. Just for anyone playing at home. Yeah, and keep in mind, they killed them without Joel Embiid. So, I mean.
Yeah, how deep is that team? Usually, oh, my God, you lost Joel Embiid for the game. And he's just yeah, no big deal.
By the way, what's Karl Anthony Towns' mother thinking? You're in another stadium. What are you doing?
She's really trying to get at him. She was going to do. You ever watch wrestling where they just jump off the rafters? Was she going to come that on top of Embiid while he's leaving?
Yeah, was she to jump down there?
Yeah, I don't know. She was hot too, man. She was real hot up there, pissed.
Let's move on here. Warriors, Donnie. We're down at one point at the end of the first quarter, 46-14. Awful. This team is. I'll say it again. They're the worst defensive team in the NBA. Now Steph Curry's hand is broken. And Joe Lacob, who is the owner of this team, won't give in, Donnie, to tanking.
I love it.
Tanking. The Warriors tanking.
Tanking after being the best single team on the planet. You moved into a new place. You fleeced every single one of those 18,000 or 19,000 fans that had to pay out their nose to get in this building, and you're going to tank. But I got to say, Jeff, if they are a smart business, they absolutely do. What's worked out in the past, odd situations. Remember when Tony Romo went down a couple years ago for the Cowboys? They had the shell of a really good football team. He goes out, they tank. Who do they get? Zeke Elliott, and then Romo comes back. It can really work in their favor if they play it right. But, yeah, Draymond, we're not going to do it. Dude, tank, man. Draymond, play half the games. Steph comes back, play half the games. Don't ever bring Klay Thompson back. Get in the lottery with a chance to get a top 3 pick, and then go after it next year. Would any fan that's a rational fan of Golden State be pissed if they tank? No. Don't you want them to do that now?
Yeah, no. I mean, they've won enough. Why not? That's a good point. I totally agree with you. Odd comment here. Karl Anthony Towns had his ass down and Embiid was talking shit. Listen, I hate to tell you, Joel Embiid would wipe the fucking floor with Karl Towns. Are you fucking nuts?
Jimmy Butler would tell you that too.
Come on, man. Listen, Joel Embiid grew up in fucking Africa, man. He grew up in a hut. You think he's not tough? Come on, man. He literally did grow up with lions around him, man.
That's true.
He'll beat the brakes off Karl Towns. What the fuck are you talking about? Ben Simmons will beat the brakes off Karl Towns.
He probably grew up around crocodiles, right?
Yeah, fuck you talking about.
We got the international appeal in here, Jeff. They didn't grow up like us in the States, man.
Exactly. It's I was listening to an interview, Donnie, the other night with Gashi. He's a rapper. He's Albanian too, and he was talking. Now, Donnie, listen. Growing up, he left Albania. He was he lived in 25 different countries before he came here. He was a refugee.
Whoa, Jesus.
Right. And he was talking about, Donnie, when he was a kid, he was talking about how other kids worry about, having Halloween or some shit.
What kind of kicks I got. Yep.
He's like, yo, listen. He said, when I walk outside, he goes, I had to worry about getting fucking abducted from these human trafficking rings and shit. He said, they'll eat you and shit over it. Like
Yeah.
like some of these dudes, some of these guys in Africa and
Sure.
Europe and stuff, they grow way different than these dudes in some of these dudes
Like
in the
you wake
NBA.
up, take a shower, like Embiid's waking up, like, oh, we got to walk like 6 miles to the Serengeti to get water. You know what I mean? Come on,
Yeah,
man. Damn.
yeah, sure. He's
Worrying about it, drinking our Gatorade and stuff. They're worried about just getting some water.
right. Donnie, let me ask you with the NBA.
Hmm?
Now, I have like 3 guys in the NBA I wouldn't fuck with.
Yeah.
Here's my 3. If
Go.
you can think of anyone off the top of your head,
Hmm?
the Morris brothers.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like I know from they're from Philly, and I've heard stories. They're nuts.
Yeah.
Like they're crazy, legitimate. They're like one level down from Marvin Harrison. By the way, Marvin Harrison, now you see his son committed to Ohio State.
Yeah, did he? Wow. Where was he playing ball in Philly?
I'd have to look it up. Not sure.
Got it. Yeah.
And then DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, the crazy. They're the ones you have to worry about. The big crazy guy that can just snap at any moment. Yeah.
I'll tell you though, the Mars twins, they don't fuck around.
And
by the way, Marvin
like
Harrison Jr. Who'd you say?
Like in the NFL, like the Pouncies. Like
sure.
Yeah.
They'll beat you to fuck up. St. Joe's Prep.
There you go. It makes sense. Yep. Didn't
All right.
Trotsky go to St. Joe's Prep? He's going to Clemson now.
Didn't who?
Jeremiah Trotter's kid, I think, is at St. Joe's Prep.
I think they all go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the school to go to, right?
Good grief.
Good work. All right. Do we have any more? Oh yeah, Donnie. The Kings are 0-5. Sacramento Kings. I have their over win total, and I'm disappointed in this start. I got to tell you, Sacramento's been through a lot. I mean, they've never really won anything. I know they have a good group of fans out there, which is impressive. But I'll tell you what, this team sucks defensively. I had the over last night in their game, Donnie. Last night, you're 0-4. You have a chance to beat the Hornets, okay, who are the worst team in the league. Yeah. Kings have some major issues. They got to move on to this new owner and kind of get out of the doldrums. This is a mess. Settle down, Jukes. Settle down, Jukes, PSG. But yeah, Donnie, you look at people like Giannis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Giannis, like I remember like reading a story that like he didn't have any money, so he would like sell stolen merchandise and shit, like in Greece. Like,
yeah, but the worst part about even like fighting Giannis would be like you could never get close to him. Like he'd just be tagging you. Like, why is he punching me from 30 feet away and hitting me?
Yeah, Giannis
is length, man. Jesus.
There's dudes that just have like kind of like they're just tempers. We don't usually see that. Patrick Beverly seems like he might have a temper.
Yes. Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, he comes across a little bit of a dick.
Yeah, Beverly's the guy that's like you're playing basketball and there's a lot of big like tough dudes, and he's the one that's running back to his car, getting his strap, coming back. It's like, who wants some now?
Like Donnie, if you asked me where Patrick Beverly was from, there would be no reason I'd even think twice.
Like LA, like
I would say LA, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He went to Dominguez out there or something like that. Yeah.
He went to like Crenshaw High.
There you go. Like, exactly.
Like that would not, and I think he did actually. All right, what else do we have here? A couple of comments. Have I ever heard of DeColdis Crawford?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was a joke at first, but it's not.
No, he is DeColdis.
That's great.
Did you guys see Ibaka eating tongues? They don't fuck around. Yeah, no, he eats all that crazy stuff. I saw him eating snake the other day, and Serge Ibaka, all sorts of crazy shit. All right, let's move on to tonight's Donnie games. We got a couple of Thursday night games. Why don't you tell us about those and what the lines are?
303, 304, Jeff. 8 o'clock. Actually, 2 8 o'clock games today, which is interesting because the NFL game, I believe, also 8:20. So dueling circuits here. Georgia Southern, Appalachian State. If we take a look at just the spread straight up, Jeff, Georgia Southern only pulling 30% of those tickets. Opens up at 18 and drops to 15 now. So how about that one, Jeff? Is this what we like to look for, Jeff? 30% of the tickets, massive line movement. I even got 14.5 at Chris and also DraftKings up in New Jersey tonight for this game versus App State.
Yeah, this is an interesting game. I mean, you definitely want to keep your eye on the weather. Donnie, weather down at Boone tonight, 25-mile-an-hour winds. You get some wet weather around as well. Jeez. You got two teams that I think generally like to run the football. Passing could be at a premium tonight. Donnie, the problem with Georgia Southern, they are so brutal on offense. They just can't extend drives. They're one of the worst teams in the country on third down. They just don't continue drives. A lot of short possessions. I'm not stepping in front of App State. They have been a freight train for the most part. I actually kind of like the under in this game. What do you have in the total, Donnie?
Total opened up at 48.5 at Pinnacle, Jeff, 50
Yeah.
at Chris. Now 44s at a lot of outlets here.
Yeah, definitely one of the worst numbers. This seems to me kind of like a 24-7 type of game.
Do you think so? Like, because I know both these teams like to be centered around a really good ground game. Do you think it matters all that much? Like that huge? That's like a touchdown movement on the total.
Well, yeah, because the problem Georgia Southern has is they can't the drives can't continue. They're not putting drives together. And App State's actually a pretty damn good defense. They've been pretty good lately. It's a tough game. Weather's going to be an issue. You're not getting the best number. As you said, it's a big move down. I'm going to avoid this one.
That's interesting because I take a look at because even like teams that like ground game control, the Minnesota game, Jeff, 35-32, UL Lafayette, we know about them. They like to ground and pound 37-24. You know what? Just taking a quick look at this game, I'm going to buck that trend of taking the 6 points downward. I'm going to go over the total, figuring that I'm going to get a good ground game out of both. Are we worried about field goals? Like, is this game going to come down to 48-yard field goals? No way. Give me the over in this game.
Yeah, I guess, Donnie, my big concern is App State has done some really good things lately on defense. I mean, they've shut down some good offenses. They've shut down some bad offenses.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they are a bad offense, Georgia Southern. They are really hard to watch. I have to look it up, Donnie. I want to say they're the worst in the country on third down. It's really ugly, really ugly. So, again, you're going to have to get lucky here, Donnie, you got to hope that, App
Fumble,
State,
pick six, kick return, punt return.
Yeah, but again, I mean, you're fading the public, which is never a bad thing. But fumbles could be a problem. Could be a little bit of wet weather out there. So yeah, it's a concern. But yeah, I have a hard time just doing anything with Georgia Southern just because of that pathetic, terrible, terrible offense. Let me look down here, Donnie. Third down conversions per game. Georgia Southern. Donnie, listen to this. 3.5 third down conversions a game. That's pretty bad. The worst are Miami and South Alabama, and then Georgia Southern.
Now, also, like, does this factor into anything you have, Jeff? Because we know Shai Wertz, hasn't played every single game. Yeah. Played September 28th versus UL Lafayette. They ended up scoring 24 points. They played at South Alabama. He scored 20 in that game. They played Coastal Carolina. He scored 30 in that game. Does that have any bearing? Whereas maybe you're getting some of these statistics from the other guy on the team,
Well, true, but keep in mind those 4 games you mentioned were against 3 really bad defenses.
Yeah, and you're right though, because Tomlin, I'm looking here too. Obviously, outside the LSU game, he put up we only put up 26 against Maine. What did Liberty hang like a 60 on Maine?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah, neither one of them passed.
I think.
I mean, the most he passed for was 75 yards too. So yeah, no, I think you get a little bit of a bump. I'm going to go over. I'm going to buck the trend there because I think the weather concerns that people are worried about. This game isn't really a weather game with the way these two are going to play.
No, if this was the other game that we're going to talk about, I would say, okay, yeah, maybe you got some reason to think. But Donnie, again, rain is going to be, I think snaps could be, there's going to be a lot of snaps in this game from a quarterback to a running back, pitches, things like that. You might be onto something here. I think it's going to be tough, but
when you watch both of these teams play, the last thing I think of is aerial assault. So if we're going to say like, the passing game is really going to get
right, but
they're going to pound it.
Sure, I get you, but you're going to have a lot of pitches,
I hear
stuff backwards,
clock running,
possessions changing hands a lot. There could be some turnovers that could help you here. So I could see it.
Baylor Bears, Jeff, 305, 306, another 8 o'clock game, as we said. So what's that going to be out in Baylor? 6 o'clock start, I guess? So almost like that twilight evening. This is another interesting one with a huge split in market percentages, spread betting percentages. West Virginia, Jeff, only getting 30% of the tickets in this game, opens up 17.5, 17s. But now we're seeing 19s. Primarily, I would say if you had an even number across the board, Jeff, 18.5, over under 57. Matt Rule and the Baylor Bears, and they continue their dominance. Looks like they're going to, based on these numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find me betting against Baylor. I mean, they have been terrific this year. They're well coached. They don't make a ton of mistakes. Here's, where I'm going in this game, though, Donnie? I'm looking at this game going over the total. I think Baylor puts up 40+. I think the total is a bit too low. One concern I have with the Baylor Bears, they recently lost, Donnie, their best linebacker. He's their leading tackler. That could be a concern. Baylor seems to play a lot of these like 31-28 kind of games. I don't think it'll be that game, but I could see like 41-21 here, something like that. The concern I have, though, is West Virginia has been horrible in the red zone. Horrible. Let's hope they can figure that out. But I think Baylor scores a lot of points tonight. I got to tell you, I wouldn't mind taking a Baylor team total over, maybe just avoiding an overall and all-encompass and just going with Baylor's over. Because, again, West Virginia, they've struggled at times moving the ball. Austin Kendall and Neil Brown's had a tough time, but he's got to get some guys in there that are his guys and kind of change that program. But I'm looking at a team total here, Donnie, at Baylor with, what do we got here? 38. Not bad, actually. Not bad. I see 41-ish here.
Now, how about this? I'm going to give you buy or sell in this football game. Buy or sell. Matt Rule's in the NFL next year.
I'm going to sell that, actually.
Dude, strike while the iron's hot. Like, is it ever going to be any hotter for him? Like, he went to the worst situation and is looking like a G. He could, if he puts his name in the hat for an NFL job, who's not going to hire him? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Cowboys would be such a good hire. I hope they don't get him.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that like he's going to be like the Dolphins or a team like that. But
he was so good in the NFL.
I agree.
He's born and bred for the NFL. He's going to make it.
I've said before, I think he's the top 5 coach in the country. Everybody laughs when I say it though, and everybody laughed when I told them how good he was. Donnie,
was there a worse situation? Could you have gone to a worse situation and he went to? It's amazing,
especially after that hack Art Briles left.
That's what he left him with absolute skeletons in the closet, and look what he's doing. It's amazing.
Donnie, you look at West Virginia defensively, they're 121st in the country in opponent red zone points per attempt. That's shockingly bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good at really any negative plays. They just struggle across the board. Donnie, this new thing in college football is Havoc. Have you heard about Havoc?
I have. Go ahead. Explain.
It's basically a metric that is kind of an all-encompass metric of everything defensively.
Yes.
So it's really just a better version of like total defense.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, West Virginia has been poor. I think they have a lot of points, a lot of opportunities here. Baylor. I like Baylor to score a lot of points. I looked at your team total here.
Yeah, nice little one. How about tomorrow? Tomorrow, Jeff, you're going to get the pitch on. You're at Navy. I'm telling you, tomorrow night, Jeff, Navy, Connecticut. Just let me know what the team total for Navy is, and we'll have fun with that. I don't care what it is. I'm taking it.
Yeah, 41.
Yeah, okay, done.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It's I don't mind laying the points either. I think
where are the stops from Connecticut? Where are the stops from Connecticut? Nowhere.
No idea. The only way you don't hit that is if Malcolm Perry gets hurt. But
exactly,
they should score every time they have the ball.
Yes, correct.
And I think if you're Kendi Amatololo, you have to look to run the score up. You've got to look to set tones here. It's a Friday night game now. You're the only
single game too.
Yeah.
Single game.
Yes, exactly. And listen, outside of Annapolis, Donnie, I don't know if there's a bigger Navy fan than myself. Love them.
True.
Love Navy. This defense has been awesome. And the only way UConn can move the ball is on the ground. Kevin Mentz is like their only good player. Navy, I believe, is 18th in the country against the run. They have been terrific. They just tackle. They wrap up. Everything about them is fun. They're exquisite. Everything.
I'm going to give you a buy or sell for Navy, Jeff. Now, where's Navy located? Tell the people where Navy.
Annapolis, Maryland.
All right, so we're talking about Maryland. We're talking about the Delmarva area. There's a professional football team that really needs a boost of confidence. A hire that says, "Christ, did they actually finally get the right man?" Diamatololo with the Redskins, Jeff. How about that?
I sell that more than I've ever sold it.
Yeah, but why? Yeah, but see, your reasoning is wrong. I'm not talking about from his perspective. I'm talking about from the Redskins' perspective.
No, sure. If you're the Redskins, I would look at it myself, but he would never do it.
Why?
Because he has no reason to. He's at the most prestigious university in America, arguably. He has kids that he doesn't have to fucking be a – you don't have to worry about personnel stuff, Donnie, ever.
Yeah, but we're talking about turning around the franchise where your family is already there. You don't have to move them anywhere. You don't have to change anything.
He's not from there, he's from Hawaii.
You can make – I'm talking about – yeah, but he's basically from Navy at this point now, his family. You can make 10 times the amount, and you can resurrect an entire franchise.
They asked him they did a Showtime show a couple years ago, Donnie, and they asked him about that. They said, you're playing Notre Dame. They were playing Notre Dame that week. He goes, have you ever thought about another place? He goes, honestly, no, I would never leave here. It's kind of like Jay Wright, Donnie. I really, it would have to be a perfect offer. And again, you might be onto something because he really wouldn't have to move.
He's right there. Like they would love, like nobody would hate it. Like Daniel Snyder would be stupid. Like, can you imagine? Like everybody hates that franchise. Would you, like you as a fan that hate the Redskins, if Niumatalolo was the head coach, you're like, you know what? I love my Eagles, but when they ain't playing the Eagles, man, I want to see this guy succeed.
Yeah, but the thing about Niumatalolo is his offense works.
But that's the missing point though, because he's not going there to coach offense or defense. He's going there to be the head coach, CEO, put guys in, because when guys understand how to win and are winners in life, they surround themselves. Like, and I don't know how it's going to end up in Arizona State, but I thought Herm Edwards would fall flat on his face. But then I forget about the power of good people who know how to put people in positions to succeed and let them succeed. He'll be great at that, man.
Yeah, Donnie, I got a lot of flack recently because I said Pete Carroll was the best coach in the NFL. And there's a reason I said that. I said that through many things because people forget that a coach is a coach at the end of the day. He's got to commit and connect with players. He's got to be able to create offensive and defensive principles. Yep. But Donnie, a coach is also someone that motivates players, someone that can be a father figure to players, someone that can be – he's almost like a counselor, Don.
Yes.
He sits there and listens to you. He's a confidant. He's a friend. He's a mentor. He's a motivator. That's what I mean when I say that. And I've often said I think coaches are everything in sports, particularly in college. If you make the right hire, you will win. You can go down to every – team that's been successful over the last 30 or 40 years. If you find me one that had a poor coach that won, I'll give you $100. It's not often.
And we've all had the same things throughout life. You've had really bad coaches in your life, and you've had guys that you would run through barbed wire for as a head coach. So we've all been there. And that's why like you can get the most out of the kid, or you can get the least out of the kid, just depending on how you treat the guy.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to remember that sometimes a coach can go a long way in a kid's life or a guy's life. And you always remember your coach, Donnie.
Absolutely. The good ones. You see the little one, see the viral video, Jeff, that was going around with the black head coach with the little white kid, man. That's awesome, man. That was sports in 30 seconds. If you could say, if nobody knows what sports are, play that video for them because it's the most honest, thing you could watch.
Listen,
you know what? People make a difference, man.
I'll tell you, Donnie, about sports. To me, that had nothing to do with sports. That was about a kid that will forever be helped.
No, but it's through the spectrum of sports, though. Sure. That's why it's awesome. Like, this little white kid and this black head coach, and the kid likes him that much. Like, he probably loves to go to practice. He probably loves football now because you know why? Coach Smith or whatever his name was, boy, he really touched me, and I loved it. He'll love football his whole life because of that coach.
We can use sports down in this country to fix the problems with youth. It's true. If we had more places for kids to go and more motivators and more mentors,
discipline and
regiment.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I know the city I live in, Donnie.
Yeah.
It's through the last 10 years, it's become pretty bad. There's a lot of violence. It's not a great place to live. And I look at a lot of the kids that I went to high school with, a lot of the good athletes and stuff. A lot of them that if with a little motivation and leadership could have really been something in their life. And I look at, Donnie, every time something happens in this city, it's connected to somebody that's done something that, Donnie, I told you recently in my town, and it was actually in my personal life, a friend of mine who's currently incarcerated, his son murdered somebody. And I've talked about it. It's in no fault of his, but the son now who played youth sports. You think if he would have had a motivator around him, maybe he wouldn't have did that.
Yeah.
We have to remember that kids are the future, and kids are a big issue right now in America. They're not led. There's no direction for a lot of kids. And videos like the one you just talked about, that kid will probably be molded forever through sports because of that guy. Yep. And people like him, that coach, are everything right about America.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yep. You're right.
All right. Let's move on here. We got an NFL game tonight, Donnie. Let's talk about it. What do you got?
Yeah, how about the best part about this game is I can say, Jeff, it actually dipped to 8 during the week, and I was just sitting here going, what am I missing? Like, what am I missing here? You have the one thing that does travel in the NFL, even on a Thursday night game, when I preach, don't bet the road team on a Thursday night. The good part about this is it's not really that long of a flight as opposed to like a cross-country flight, but defense always travels, and it always travels against a pretty poor team. So I'm not betting Arizona getting the 10 points just because they're at home and that's the right thing to do here. I'm not betting this side because I don't believe in, that whole thing. But I think there's some ways you can pitch because I love team totals. You know me, Jeff. 26.5 is the team total for the 49ers. They get 26.5 tonight. They're going to get 28, 31 points in this game. I don't think that's going to be any question in this one. Also have a couple Kyler Murray, last 2 games, Jeff, just like some prop type bets. His completion tonight to go over is only 20.5. And I've had some people already ask me, like, well, why? Because I put out a video. Well, why would you want that? He's going against one of the best defenses. Well, he doesn't really have any running backs at his disposal tonight. You get Kenyon Drake from Miami. He's going to be running for his life. So when you run for your life, Jeff, what does that mean for him? Scrambles out of the pocket, 2-yard pass, 4-yard pass over the middle. I think he gets over the 20.5 completions. He's averaging, Jeff, actually, on the season, 23.5 completions per game. I think he gets that. And I think the Niners hit the 30 mark and they get that team total over.
Donnie, I'm going to surprise you with my prediction here.
Go.
Like real, I feel like a psychic right now with what I'm about to tell you.
Oh boy,
the Niners are going to fucking eviscerate the Cardinals tonight. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals are shut out.
And the quarterback's hurt.
Yeah, look at the quarterback. How is he going to score against his team? Let's look at the Niners. Or let's look, Donnie, at the Cardinals here. Let's see what defenses they've faced so far. Let's do it. What do you think?
Had a good one last week.
And how'd they do?
Not too well.
Okay. That's my point. Let's go through them here. Last week, played the New Orleans Saints, 9 measly points. He played the Falcons, who cares? The Giants, who cares? He played the Bengals, who fucking cares? You played the Seahawks, Donnie, a decent defense.
Yep.
Scored 10 points. Played the Panthers. They're pretty good as well, 20. Played the Ravens, 17, not great. This is the best defense they faced by a wide margin. They're not doing a ton here. Okay, they can't run the ball because their running backs are out.
Yep.
Do I give a fuck that they brought in? Who'd they bring in?
Drake.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake. Who cares?
And he knows like 5 plays.
It ain't the rapper coming in either. You look at Donnie, how many good things I think the Niners are also going to do on offense.
Yes.
They're going to destroy the Cardinals on the ground. The Cardinals are one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. They're giving up a ton of yards. And if you know anything, Donnie, about fantasy, do you know who the worst team in the league is against tight ends?
I'm going to assume it's Arizona.
Arizona. They're allowing 17 points a game to tight ends. That's awful. I think George Kittle has a big night. Emmanuel Sanders, I think a receiver, gets involved with some crisscross routes, that sort of thing. I love the Cardinals tonight. I think they roll.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think there's no way that you can back the Arizona Cardinals in that game tonight. But the thing I like about it is I think you'll get some points out of I think the easiest thing, if you say, what's the one thing that I know in this game? I'm going to get points out of the 49ers offense, and that's the way I'm going to roll with it tonight.
MVP, sports picks, I love you, pal, but come on, that is a terrible stat that I'm not using, and I'm going to tell you why. Cardinals are 8-0 in the last 8. We have to remember, MVP, that Cardinals have been Donnie, what would you say? A better team than the Niners over the last 4 years?
Correct, yes.
And the Niners have been bad the last 4 years. Let's be real. They play each other twice a year. I don't think that's a big deal. San Francisco is light years better than what the Cardinals are. Kittle's going to have a big game here. I think that the Niners on the ground have a big game here. I'm all over them. Love them.
Yeah, Jansen says, is Breida playing or not? As long as Tevin Coleman is playing, I don't really care who else is it running. I mean, look, don't you want more fast backs that you can roll in there?
Running back,
it's not like they're coming into this game with nothing at running back. They'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually not in the NFL. I don't put a ton of stock into injuries like Matt Breida because someone else can step up. Look, if the Cardinal or let's say the Falcons play a game and Julio Jones ain't playing, I'm not betting them. Because that's a huge part of their offense. Look, Matt Breida is a good player, but other people can.
But you got Tevin Coleman, yeah, exactly. Sure. You're not missing that punch. Like
Mostert's been good
if the Jets play, like Le'Veon Bell doesn't play, well, that's a big deal because they don't have another Le'Veon Bell. But it's actually, if you look at Breida and Campbell, man, they're explosive. So as long as you have one, you should be all right.
Mostert, he's good too.
Mostert's fast too. Eagles.
By the way, Raheem Mostert went to Penn State, right?
I don't know if he. No, did he? I don't think he went to Penn
Oh,
State.
Purdue. That's right.
Yeah.
I knew it was a Big Ten.
Big
team.
Ten. Yeah.
All right. So what are you going with, Donnie?
I'm going to my favorite, like a prop Murray over 20.5 completions, but my favorite one is 26.5 over as a team total for the Niners. They should get a pick six. They should have good field position all night. Come on, man. In a dome, we're not worried about weather.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I like the Niners. I actually also like, to be honest, I like their team total under Cardinals as well. I'd love to find a shutout, win and shutout kind of thing. It's a shutout, win the nil here for the Niners.
Jeez.
Lock it up. Joe McClain, does Baylor under come in tonight? You must have missed our breakdown, Joe. No, I don't think it does. What else do we have here? There was a comment I wanted to get to. Oh, yeah, this one. Hey, did you get a chance to watch that Liverpool-Arsenal game yesterday? Donnie, did you see that game?
5-5? Was it 5-5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they went to penalties and Arsenal lost.
Yeah.
Another great night on Arsenal fan TV.
I was going to say, but I wonder if they were upset about the defense.
Oh, they were upset. Shocking. It was used a lot. But yeah, 5-5. And Donnie, guess what your boy did?
What?
It was 5-4. And I'm thinking,
put the tie in?
Now there's 74 minutes gone. I said, you know what? This game's finishing 5-5. I know it. I know Arsenal give up a goal. Plus 360. Cash money. And then last night, Donnie, I was watching TVG.
Yeah.
And Churchill Downs was running in like 4 minutes.
Yep.
I look at the horses. I see, listen to this horse's name.
Go.
Patty. And I said, well, that's my mother's name. I got about that. Comes in.
Yep. This was a wonderful night in the big man's home gambling house.
We got the Nationals one last night. The over came in. And by the way, I'm 9-2 in the NBA if anyone's playing along at home. And yes, I've had people comment and ask about the 2 losses, what happened there. You know how that goes. But Donnie, so what are you going on trick-or-treating tonight? Is that what
I got to go out trick-or-treating a little bit. Got to hit my mom's house. Got to hold the family deal, which is good. So I'll be back in time. And I'm not like I'm missing out on a big NFL game that I got to hurry home for. So.
By the way, get these clowns in this town I live in. They canceled the trick-or-treating.
Until when? Oh, yeah, because it was raining.
Tomorrow.
Soft. You guys are soft out there today, man.
It stopped raining at like 9 a.m.
Yeah, correct. Yep, you guys are soft out there, man.
Fuck?
When we were kids, man, rain, pour, snow, sleet, thunder. Who cares? We're out there. Let's go.
I think, Donnie, I actually don't mind it because I think it has a lot to do more with, like, when it rains a lot of the time, it's foggy. You might not see things. I get it. I mean, you got kids running around. You kind of want it to be.
I'm surprised. I'm like, Jeff, I'm actually surprised kids actually go out and trick or treat. Like, I don't want to walk to get food or candy. You know what I mean? Come on.
I'll tell you right now, I didn't trick or treat once when I was a kid.
Jeez.
I hated that shit. I was out doing. Well,
you guys, did you have to walk like a mile between houses though?
No, we would go into the city. My grandparents lived in the city, so we would go into the city. Yeah. Fuck trick or treating. I never did that. Big man, how about some Joe Duffy impression? Vinny Cornell loves Joe Duffy's impression. Man. He asks that every day.
Does he call Joe Duffy's hotline just to hear him talk?
It's Joe Duffy, offshoreinsiders.com. We got a crazy week here at the website. We'll do the tailgate party, 11 o'clock Eastern on Saturday morning. We got great picks from High Cotton and Stevie Vincent. It's Joe Duffy, offshoreinsiders.com.
Joe, here's what I want, Jeff. One of the podcasts, we got to have High Cotton, Joe Duffy, and Stevie Vincent to really get the full impact.
Good old Stevie Vincent, the man, the myth, the legend.
Yes.
I go all the way back to the scorephone days. Remember that?
By the way, you know what I was actually interested in? It was making his way around with the talk, like, EA Sports. The guy that says the EA Sports that's in the game. I always like to see people. Yeah, I always like to see people actually say it. Who's the real voice behind it? It's pretty funny.
Yeah, all those things like
Simpsons and stuff. When you hear like Bart Simpson, like, oh my god.
The Simpsons is like a lot of the same person.
It's kind of the same person. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
I forget the dude's name. He does
one of Hank Azaria does a ton of them.
Oh yeah, Hank Azaria. Sure. What else did I want to point out? Oh yeah, Donnie. I mentioned this to you the other day. Settle down, Guam. I
So,
mean,
Guan, that's going to be our headlines tomorrow. We're going to have a viral video about it.
yeah, settle down, Walmart. No, but Donnie, so Donnie's kind of an amazing guy, right? I'll tell you why. Someone asked Donnie if he's ever seen Breaking Bad.
I haven't, no.
Now, keep in mind, Donnie's a prime candidate for someone that would like Breaking Bad.
Yes,
wouldn't he?
correct. I am, and I probably
What's
will
your
love
issue?
it.
Why haven't you watched it?
You know what? It's. I know how many episodes there are now, so I feel like I'm overwhelmed. If that makes sense.
A
Like
lot.
if I dip
Okay.
into it,
Here's what I want you to do then.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got a show for you. It's only 2 seasons in.
yeah,
It's perfect for you.
Ozark.
Go watch Ozark.
My wife has heard really good things, so she'll watch it with me. Yes.
Like I'm only through. I
Yeah.
have a few episodes left in the season. Now it's only in season 2. I'm at this point willing to say that it's a top 5 show for me.
Ooh, that's high praise early, man.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's terrifically acted. Terrifically acted.
By the way, is Guan really just contemplating at home about Eminem songs? Do you think he's thinking about, like, I can't even believe that Eminem has a song called "What If I Was Gay"?
Now, let me ask you I want to look this song up because it's like, is it like an ode? Like, because Eminem has been homophobic in the past.
Yeah.
He's used, the bad word for gay people a lot.
Huh?
So I'm curious what this.
Will Eminem be back in the booth on like Saturday night ABC football with like Herb Street and the boys
and Musburger? Yeah, I'm going to say no. Not after this little escapade. All right, we're out of here. You all enjoy your night. Have fun if you have kids out there and your Halloween trick-or-treating or whatever. I do not have that. Don't knock on my fucking door, please.
Yeah, like, do you have candy, Jay? Like, you're just going to be disrespectful and not answer the door?
No, I turn them. No, the
What
great
happens if
thing.
they're knocking on your door during the NBA show and they just keep pounding away?
Well, luckily, I'm not nowhere near my front door, so I don't have to worry about that. But hey, Donnie, last night we had a great group of people in the NBA show. I think we touched 450.
Nice. Awesome.
People are enjoying the show.
Yeah.
It's been great. So make sure you check that out. We only get a 3-game card tonight. Donnie, last night we gave out the Cavs. That was our consensus play, which is a winner. So we're very happy with it.
Yep.
But yeah, Donnie, watch the first episode of Ozark and tell me you don't fucking love
I will. I will have to do that soon.
What's the show in England? Top Boy. That's a terrific show as well. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks you all for checking out the show. Donnie, what are your free plays tonight?
Arizona team total over 26.5. Kyler Murray total completions over
San Francisco.
20.5. San Francisco. Yeah, why do I keep saying that? I was looking at the same. San Francisco over 26.5. That's the best play. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Baylor team total over 38. And I'm going to go with Arizona. What's the line in Arizona currently?
10. Yeah, I'll give you 10. Yeah.
Fucking 5 dimes, man. 5 dimes says minus 12.
Yeah, I've taken them off my odds board, so I don't look at 5 dimes lines.
Fucking
anymore.
worst.
Yeah.
I have them up because they always have team totals, so I just looked at them. When can we expect more breakdowns? The Big East is out. Big East breakdown's out. I'm going to do 5 more today. They'll be out. I'm through about 6 already, so I'll do 5 more today. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out all the videos on the channel. We'll see you tomorrow for a Football Friday.